Hi, this is Larry Chambers, Phnom Penh, Cambodia, and tonight I want to lodge a complaint. Now, the ambassador from the United States just confronted Hun Sen, who's the Prime Minister of Cambodia, since Trump is now president, has put pressure on countries to pay their debt. And I understand why we want to have some of this money back that we've given to everybody, to France, to countries in Africa, just South America, on and on and on, and nobody's paid their debts. But this ambassador says he wants to collect $500 million. It was $300 million back in 1973, and now under the Long government, and now with interest, it's $500 million. First of all, this is the most ridiculous request I've ever heard in my life. Richard Nixon bombed the shit out of Cambodia, killed untold numbers of farmers and civilians, and literally, and this isn't me coming up with this, this came from Richard Helms, who was the head of the CIA back then, had pushed the Khmer Rouge into, it pushed all these young people. Like if you saw your dad killed or grandparents blown up from a B-52 strike, you might start to hate America. And so proof of this is before the bombing, there was less than a few thousand in the Khmer Rouge, and after the bombing, there was 100,000. They take over Long government, the then what I want to say, the friendly government to the United States, which we supported. Somehow there was loans given to that government. And to Mr. Ambassador, and I know you're on Facebook, if you would listen to this, what I'd like to see is the paperwork of that loan. Because I'll bet it doesn't exist. And for you to ask a country that we literally destroyed, bombed the hell out of, and compare it to African countries. First of all, I know we stole slaves, our great-great ancestors did, but we never bombed any of these other countries that you're trying to collect money from. But we sure bombed the hell out of Cambodia. And yet there's never been one official from the United States ever say, hey, geez, guys, I apologize, I'm sorry for what we did. Now, I think everybody realizes the Vietnam War was an unjust war. It was, if anything, everything I've learned about the Vietnam War, what I know now, I would have joined the Viet Cong and shot me. That's how much I've learned in the opposite direction. So if that war was unjust, the bombing of Cambodia was beyond existence, beyond belief, beyond any words I can come up with, dear Mr. Ambassador. So I think you need to, A, find the paperwork, and B, maybe, just maybe, apologize to the people of Cambodia for what happened to them. You know, if anything, it's the first drive-by war. They were on our side. We worked with Cambodians that were on SOG teams that went in to find the Viet Cong that were using the trail in Cambodia. Now, there's another little thing, Mr. Ambassador, you probably aren't aware of, but and this is easy to find, I mean, Richard Nixon had promised the people of Cambodia, he was going to give them $12 million. This was in like 1970, just before the Watergate hearing, 74, right? I don't know what the exact date is, but Henry Kissinger said, I don't think you should pay the $12 million because then that's going to put attention on the fact that we're admitting that we bombed the country. So he didn't pay it. Okay, where's the $12 million? Oh, was that in one of the secret slush funds that came out in the Watergate hearings? You know, watch All the President's Men and you find out that literally every single intelligence agency in the United States when Nixon was president was being used by Haldeman who was the second most powerful man in the country, as to run these covert operations. So, I mean, watch the movie. Read any one of the hundreds of books that will show the injustice to this country. It's why I'm here. I want to try to make things right for what we did to Cambodia. And then, do your homework, please. Okay, that's my talk for today.